Good morning and welcome to Beyond the Contracts podcast. I'm your host, Maresa Morrow with Parks out of Murfreesboro, along with
Jennifer Hart with Churchill Mortgage.
And this morning we have the honor of having Jenny Lamb with the Sam Davis Home. She's the executive director. Yes. And growing up in Smyrna and especially Rutherford County, Sam Davis Home was a pretty big part of our lives. That was where we went on field trips. You had events there. I've gone to baby showers in the spring Spring Creek house. A friend of mine got married there. You went there to do pictures. It was the place and still is the place. Yes. And now, I don't know if any of you have gone before they renovated, like the Welcome Center. Mm-hmm. But it is amazing. There's a museum, there's a movie, there's all of this history. I'm a huge history buff.
Me too.
So, Jenny, we can't wait to hear what's going on out there. But first, give us a little background as to when all of those renovations happened and when you came aboard.
Yes.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for having me. The Visitor Center was a massive undertaking that the Sam Davis Memorial Association, the board and trustees here took on, and they put that building up in 2001 is when it opened to the public. But the Sam Davis Home has been open as a nonprofit museum since 1930. So that was a huge step for them to finally be able to construct this big museum gallery. It gave space not only for visitors and a gift shop and meeting room and all of this gallery space, but also collection storage for all the artifacts that the museum owns that aren't always on display. So it was a great first step for the site in 2001. So it's a beautiful place to come out here. And like you said, so many folks that live here in Smyrna, it's actually, we get so much of that back and forth. Either you grew up coming out here and you come all the time, or we have so many folks that are now saying, I've lived in Smyrna for years and I've never come. And so we see more out of towners now than we do locals. So we want more locals to come in and visit us. And there is always something going on. As a matter of fact, I'm hiding kind of in a corner office right now because there's a loud field trip happening outside as we speak, which is exciting because we see between 10 and 15,000 school kids every school year. So that's a big part of the site's income, our field trips.
That is fantastic. I know my family tries to come every year to the haunted tour. Have you ever been out there?
I have not done that, but I would love to do that.
It's fun. It's not super scary, but it's fun. It's family oriented, of course. But the history that you learn of what's going on, and then of course the Christmas stuff and the decorations that were appropriate. It's just so much fun. But tell us what events you've got coming up.
Yeah,
I know there's
several.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah, we have actually this weekend is sort of the big Christmas hurrah. So on Saturday, December 2nd, we're open from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and it's our Christmas open house. So even though it's just our regular admission, you get that special Christmas tour inside the historic house. You get to see the house decorated for Christmas. You hear what it was like here in the 19th century. What the decorations were like, what the different holiday traditions were. And then we also are serving cider and wassail in our gift shop. And kids can make an ornament, a 19th century ornament to take home and put on their tree. So all of that's included in that special price that day. And of course, we'll have great sales in our museum shop. So if you're looking for unique local and handmade things. We've got great artisans from here in Tennessee featured in our gift shop. So you can get some Christmas shopping done while you're here too. And then at 2:00, we have our annual Nutcracker Tea. That is always so much fun. It is sold out. It usually sells out by summer because people come and they want to come next year. So as soon as we put those tickets online, they sell out. Tea parties are a big thing for us. We do between 4 and 6 a year, but the Nutcracker Tea is special. We have kids from a local troop here in Smyrna come in their Nutcracker costumes so that the Tea Party participants get to take their pictures with folks. Battenham Farms, which is also local here in Smyrna, they're our caterer. So they cater the tea food that is here. So beautiful, delicious scones and cookies and you name it.
Wow.
So it's a fun event. And then Saturday night is our History After Dark tour that is adults only. It's called Curious Christmas, and it's with our curator. So that's sort of a deep dive into 19th century Christmas traditions. And those History After Dark tours have become also very popular. It's always a unique spin. We do one in October that's sort of featured around a haunted history sort of tour. And then we'll do several others in the spring and summer each year. So that's a great way if you're looking for a date night to come out and sort of get a great behind the scenes, especially for history buffs, like with our curator, different topic each time. Those are great events, and they always happen at 7 p.m. So after the museum is closed, you sort of get the place to yourself, and it's truly a history after dark.
How fun. Tell us more about the Tea Party. I know the kids, you said come in and they're in costume, but do others wear costumes? I really just want to wear a dress. That's what I'm getting at.
Most of our tea parties, it's funny, more and more we are seeing people get dressed up. I mean,
that's
the
fantastic.
hats or the fascinators. Some of our gentlemen that are coming in are even wearing bow ties. You don't have to dress up, but of course we always say tea attire makes it so much more fun.
I love it.
Absolutely. That would be so fun.
I love it.
So all of that's this weekend, correct?
Okay.
This Saturday. Wow. That's
And then
a big
you've
day.
got something the next weekend, correct?
Next weekend is another History After Dark tour. Yes. And our Christmas tour, our decorations will be up through the whole month of December. So you can come and take our holiday tour. We call it a Davis Family Christmas through the end of December, through December 30th. Yeah.
Awesome. And so the event you were just talking about, the adults only event, I think I saw on your website about how, and I've always wondered this, but you hear the songs that reference about ghost stories. And so years ago, back during that era, it was common that they would tell ghost stories during Christmas.
That's right. A Christmas Carol is a ghost story.
Yes.
And you visit, when Charles Dickens wrote that story, it was all about those visits from those ghosts. So that is a ghost story. But it's also, not to give too much away from this tour that'll happen, but there are so many other fascinating traditions from the 19th century where around the holidays, they were, having sorts of seances or reading tarot cards and that sort of thing. And we don't associate those sorts of things with Christmas nowadays,
Not at all.
but very different traditions in the 19th century. And so we'll be exploring all of that in this History After Dark tour.
I love that.
I do too.
That whole concept is just different, and I just love it.
I think it appeals to our history buff in us both. Yeah, that's
and,
exciting.
Rutherford County just has so much to offer in regards to history, and the Sam Davis Home is just one aspect of that. And I'm one of those individuals. We've lived in Rutherford County since 2001, and I hadn't visited until recently. I attended an event there and just completely enjoyed it, was immersed, got to look at different things, got to go into the gift shop. But I enjoyed it, and I was like, I'm coming back. I have to come back because I loved it. I didn't realize, how big is the property?
Today we have 168 acres, and we're one of the longest continually operating farms in Rutherford County. So this farm has been operating since the 1700s, and we still farm 100 acres of the land out here. So the land is still being farmed, and that's making money to keep this nonprofit museum open. So agriculture is still very much a key to the success of this property.
I'm so glad that you bring that up, because a lot of locals just don't know that.
No.
And we've had so many people moving into our area, they have no idea. But I highly, go ahead.
I think that that's also what makes this place special. So many museums that are left, historic house museums, the land around them is not left.
So,
There's neighborhoods that come right up onto their property. But here, you literally drive up a long driveway, and when the corn is in the fields, you can't see any traffic. You don't see anything modern. You might hear the Smyrna Elementary kids across the creek playing at recess across the property here, but you feel like you're truly stepping back in time, and that makes it a unique experience when you're out here, because you can truly feel like you're transported, and while you're learning history, you're getting that with all senses, like the sights and the smells that are out here. And we found more and more, like our local Rutherford County school kids, that's part of what they love about coming on field trips, especially our big Days on the Farm that happens in May every year. That's been going on for over 50 years. But we see school kids that they get over next to those baby cows and they don't want to leave. They're saying, I'm getting to touch a cow for the first time, and they want to experience those touches of agriculture. And so that's a big part of what we love around here.
And it's right in the heart of Smyrna.
Exactly.
It's not like you've got to travel, a lot of these field trips, you have to now travel, But yes, you're right. There's a lot of homes around there that are historic, and there's neighborhoods right down the street on Oak is Tucker's Retreat. That was part of the Civil War, and it's a residential home with residential homes around it now, but a big part of it. Super close.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I get excited because it was such a big part of my childhood, and people that I know that grew up there and worked there. So, and when you do come into that big driveway, I mean, to me, you can feel the carriages coming in for a barbecue or whatever, because the way that it circles up around, it's beautiful, and you all have done a fantastic job maintaining it, adding to it, and we really appreciate you being a part of the Sam Davis home right here in Rutherford County.
Yeah, and the way you explained it, when I experienced it, that's exactly the way I felt. Wow, I had no idea, but you truly do feel like you've stepped back in time. So I'm so glad that you are there to share all about this, and but wow, what an opportunity it is for our residents to take part in history, really.
Absolutely. Yep.
So,
Jenny, we thank you so much. We appreciate you taking the time and sharing, highlighting it.
And take a second and just tell us real quickly, how do people get tickets, or where can they find you?
Yeah, the best way is to visit our website, which is the samdavishome.org.
Okay.
And of course, we also share so much on Facebook and Instagram. So follow us on social media to find out what's coming up new. You can subscribe to our e-blast newsletters on the website to sort of stay in the loop, because there's something happening year round out here for adults only, for families, for toddlers. Like, we do a little bit of everything. So there's always something going on. But the website is the best way to grab your tickets for those special events.
I'm going to do that. I'm going to subscribe.
I know.
For sure.
That's just thinking that same thing. Yeah. So samdavishome.org. Awesome.
All right, Jenny.
Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Happy
so
holidays.
Much. Yes, happy holidays. We hope to see you soon.